Hey everybody, it's Matt from Britical Saiyans, and today I'm going to show you my Dr. Hedo deck profile. The first Android deck that I've wanted to make, because this is actually really cool. So Hedo, when he attacks, you look at top 5, your top of your deck, you add a red ribbon, and that's it. And then you put the rest back in shuffle. So no drawing, just search, which is great. When you list 4 or less, or you have one of each of the gammas in play, you can rip down to 6 and draw 2 and flip it over. And then on the awakened side, he gets a lot of skills. His permanent is during your turn, your gamma 1 and gamma 2s that are energy cost of 2 gain barrier. Or energy 2. Energy cost of 2. Oh, 2, not less. But they're all 2 anyway. 2 or 3. Also, once per turn, you can discard a red ribbon army card from your hand when your Gamma 2 attacks to draw 2 cards. Activate main, once per turn, you choose one of your Gamma 1s with an energy cost of 3 or less and switch it to active mode. So, the Z deck, we have 2 of the Rush Attack Vegeta. He's got Deflect. Auto, when he attacks, you can combo with a card from the drop that's got 5k power combo, and it negates the skills. But then when you do that, you also minus something by 15. And then activate main once per turn. You've got 4 or more Z energy. You can switch this card to active mode. It gets 10k power, double strike, and barrier. And then we've got 3 copies of the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 Arrival of Heroes. It has unique, which is fine. It's got permanent. If you got 1 or more of the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 in play, its cost gets reduced by 1 Z and 1 main energy, so it becomes a 1-1, which is absolutely fantastic. Getting them both out is not difficult, because you're in the next card I'll be showing plays one of them out for free anyway. It's got another permanent that if you've got 3 or more energy, all the Gamma 1s and Gamma 2s gain 5k during your turn. And then auto limit 1, when your red Gamma 1 card is switched to active mode by the skill of Dr. Hedo, this card will go to active mode and it gains double strike. So the next card, Dr. Hedo's Laboratory. Kind of really need to see this card, but it's also the first card you play out. It does have Z stack, and Z stack's Cell Max, but we'll go into Cell Max in a minute. But the Laboratory is an activate main, limit 1. If your leader card is red ribbon army card, you can play up to 1 Gamma 1 from your hand with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy in rest mode. Playing in rest mode isn't a problem because you want to be switching into active mode with this anyway. It just means that you lose out on an attack. It's not the end of the world really. Activate main, paying a red. If you've got 4 more energy, you can discard a red magenta superhero from your hand. You play a Cell Max from underneath this into your battle area and you remove this card from the game. Cell Max. He's got barrier and blocker and 2 autos. The first one is when he attacks, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 15. And then auto once per turn, when one of your card skills reduces card's power to 0 or less, he goes to active mode. So it just means that you can have a blocker or two attacks. And that's the Z deck. On to the main deck. The extra cards to start with. We've got 2 of the After Image Technique, Spark in the Gate, 5 in the drop, you can rip alive to instead of paying the energy. It's not actually a negate, it doesn't actually end up negating attack, it just gives whatever you want 40k and then minus something by 10k. That's effectively a negate because then your opponent's got to try and out combo. But it's one of the battle cards you got minus by 10k, so you can't minus the leader. 2 Testing Opposition. So this is the token negate blocker. You got 5 or less life. You can rip a life to play it instead of paying the cost, and it just plays out. It negates attack and then plays out a token blocker. And then we got 2 Beerus Ball. So this is a counter play. Basically, the idea of this is to stop things like the Swift Retaliation Cooler, Topos, all that kind of stuff. Just because they're pains in the ass, all those floodgate type cards, this is a good way of stopping them. And then you get to give your leader 5k for the turn, but you can also then use this to stop anything else that's got 4 or less battle card being played. But if you've got 4 or less life, you can activate the cast scale skill from your hand by taking a life instead. And then we've got 2 Realm of the Gods. So this is activate battle, and then you lead a card is red, and you choose one of your cards gets 10k power for the battle. So the card that's attacking or being attacked or whatever. And then if it's your turn, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy is greater than the current energy and minus it by 30k. If it's your opponent's turn, you draw a card and you choose something to get 5k for the battle. So you can make something gain 15k if you're trying to defend it. Onto the 1 costs. We have 4 copies of the 1 cost magenta. So when he's played, you draw a card, and then limit 1 paying a red. If he's in a combo, when his card is using a combo, you choose one of your red ribbon cards and it gains double strike. So it's Champer, but for a certain type of deck. And it only gives 5k and not 10k combo. And then we got the 1 cost Hedo. It's got a permanent where it can gain 1000 power if you've got both gammas in play. But it doesn't matter. He's just here to surge. When he's played, he does exactly what the leader does. Just look at top 5, add a red ribbon. He draws when he's played as well. I can't remember if I said that or not. Brain just went. So for the 2 costs, we got the super combo of choice. I went with Raditz. Because I don't think there's any other super combo this deck can use really, other than like sparking or your generic red ones. I didn't actually double check, but there might be one that's searchable. I can't remember. But either way, Raditz, your bottom deck can draw 2. You got 4 or less. The only downside is you've got to be on 4S life to have 10k as well. But even still, just pick whichever super combo suits your playstyle. And then we got the 2 cost Dr. Hedo. So when he's using a combo, you can pay 1 red, it's limit 1, and then you get to play a gamma. If you've got a Z extra card in play, by the way, this is. You can play a gamma 1 or gamma 2 from your deck that's got 15k power, and then it's got to have energy costs equal to your current or lower than your current energy. And then we got gamma 2, gamma 1. Gamma 2 is the other one in my hand. He's got deflect, auto, limit 1, when his card attacks, you use a card from the drop in a combo. It's got 5k combo power and negate your skills. Auto, once per turn, when his card is switched to active mode by the leader skill, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards to get minus 5k for a turn. And then we got gamma 2. So, permanent, if you've got a gamma 1 in play, you can reduce his play cost by 1. And then auto limit 1, when your gamma 1 is switched to active mode by your leader skill, he goes to active. And that's once per turn as well, limit 1. On to the 3 costs. So we have 4 copies of Gamma 1 Hero Pride. So 2 autos. First one, limit 1. When he attacks, he does the same thing as the other Gamma 1 does. Just combo from the drop. And then his effect is effectively the same as well. The only difference is his minus is by 10k and draws a card. Otherwise they're pretty much the same. And then we got a 3 cost Magenta. It's another negate for the deck. It's also the fact that it counts as Magenta can be used for that skill to play out Cell Max. So it gives the deck 5 Magenta targets. And then he's also a Red Ribbon Army, so he meets the requirement to be discarded. He's also searchable. Has a lot of utility, but He is a negate, but it does cost 3 energy, but it does have a permanent, so we'll just go into it. So it's counter attack limit 1. You play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 10k for a turn. Permanent, if your leader card is Cell Max, which then of course means in this deck it makes no difference because your leader's not Cell Max. It's just, yeah, it's target for everything else, and you can still pay the free energy to play him out as a negate and minus something, but if you've got free open energy, you're probably going to be using other cards. The only 4 costs in the deck is Topo, as another negate option for the deck. It's Topo. I don't know what else you want me to say about him, really. His cost can get reduced by 2, and then when he's played, if your opponent wants to attack, they have to discard 2 cards to their draw each time. It's a nice little floodgate. To the 5 costs. We got Gamma 2, Suicide Attack Departure. Really, they could have picked a better name for this one. He's got crit auto once per turn. When your red Gamma 1 superhero is switched to active mode, by the leader skill, you switch this card back to active mode. And then it gains the auto at the end of the battle in which this card attacked. You place this card in its drop. Additionally, your opponent has 3 or more life. You deal a damage, but it doesn't crit them, it goes to their hand. And he's got activate main, limit 1, paying 2 red. Your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you've got a Gamma 1. Gamma 1 in play. You can play this card from your hand. And then the other 5 cost is we got Gamma 1, Gamma 2 Heroes Mission. Yay! It's got 2 autos and an activate battle. The activate battle is limit 1, paying a red. If your leader card is red and your opponent has 3 more energy, you draw a card, you play this card from your hand, and you choose something to get 10k for the battle. Which is why it's a battle skill. So it's like, oh, battle, I can play this. But you could also use this as a defense option if you really needed to draw another card or you want to save something. Because it does say give one of your cards 10k for the battle. So as other autos, when it's played, you get to give something 5k for the turn. But this is one of your red ribbon cards, so it has to be the red ribbon part for that. That other skill doesn't really matter. And then he's got the same auto as a lot of the other Gamma, well, the Gamma 2s, that when a Gamma 1 is switched to active mode, it goes to active mode itself. And then the last card of the deck is 4 copies of the Cell Max. It's a blocker. When it attacks or uses blocker, at the end of the battle, it will go to active mode and it loses 15 for the turn. And then auto, when this card is KO'd or removed from the battle area by a skill, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 30. And then he's got a limit 1, activate main, paying a red. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can play this card from your hand. And you have to have a red leader. So that's it. That is my Dr. Hedo deck profile. Thank you very much for watching. Leave any thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.